"Hold my hand, believe in God, and you will be healed," said the street boy to the wealthy woman. Patricia Wilson had been hospitalized for 3 weeks in the most expensive hospital in New York City, and none of the most renowned doctors in the country could figure out what was happening to her. The 52-year-old businesswoman, owner of a chain of clothing stores that earned millions, felt her body weakening day by day without explanation. It was on a rainy afternoon that she felt a small hand touch hers. When she opened her eyes, she saw a boy of about 10 years old, dressed in simple, slightly dirty clothes, standing beside her bed. "Hold my hand, believe in God, and you will be healed," said the boy in a calm voice that didn't match his appearance. Patricia was speechless. How had that boy gotten into the hospital? And why did she feel no fear, only a strange sense of peace? "Who are you?" she whispered, still holding the boy's hand. "My name is Tyler," he replied, sitting in the chair next to the bed. "I live nearby. Sometimes I come in to visit people who are alone." "Alone?" Patricia repeated, confused. "But I'm not alone. My daughter—" "Your daughter comes here every day, but you're still alone," Tyler interrupted with wisdom far beyond his years. "She's on her phone talking about work. You need someone who really listens." At that moment, the door opened, and Jessica Wilson, 28 years old, walked into the room with hurried steps, wearing an impeccable suit and carrying a folder full of documents. "Mom, I need you to sign these." Jessica stopped abruptly when she saw the boy. "Who is this child? How did he get in here?" Tyler stood up calmly but didn't let go of Patricia's hand. "Hi, you must be Jessica," he said with a smile. "Your mom talks about you a lot." "Security!" Jessica shouted, pressing the button beside the bed. "There's an unknown child in my mother's room." "Jessica, wait," Patricia said, surprising herself by defending the boy. "He's not doing any harm." 2 security guards rushed into the room. One of them, Kevin Miller, a tall, serious man around 40, recognized Tyler immediately. "Again, kid, I've told you not to come in here," Kevin said, though his voice lacked its usual sternness. "Please, Mr. Kevin, just a little longer," Tyler pleaded. Mrs. Patricia was starting to feel better. Jessica looked from her mother to the boy, noticing something different. Patricia had more color in her face, and her eyes seemed livelier than in recent weeks. "Jessica, let him stay just a little longer," Patricia asked. "Please." "Mom, you can't just let anyone in here. What if he's sick? What if—" "I'm not sick," Tyler said simply. "And I didn't come to steal anything. I just came to talk." Kevin hesitated. He had known the boy for a few months. Tyler showed up at the hospital regularly, always trying to visit patients who seemed lonely. The boy had never caused trouble. He just talked to people. "Mrs. Jessica, if you'll allow it, I can stay here and supervise," Kevin suggested. "This is ridiculous," Jessica muttered, but seeing the pleading look in her mother's eyes, she sighed. "Fine, but only for a few minutes." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps those of us just starting out. Now, continuing. Tyler sat back down beside Patricia, and she realized she truly felt better. The constant pain in her chest had lessened. "Tyler, where do you live?" she asked. "Somewhere nearby, with Mrs. Gloria, who's taken care of me since my mom left," he replied naturally. Jessica, who had been on her phone, looked up. "Left how?" "She got very sick and had to go to heaven," explained Tyler. "But Mrs. Gloria said she's okay now, that she doesn't feel any more pain." A heavy silence filled the room. Patricia felt her eyes well up, and without knowing why, she squeezed the boy's hand tighter. "I'm so sorry, Tyler," she said. "Don't be sad," he replied. "Mrs. Gloria says when people go to heaven, they send angels to take care of those left behind. I think you're the angel my mom sent to me." "Me?" Patricia laughed for the first time in weeks. "Tyler, you've got it wrong. I'm the one who needs help here." "Everyone needs help sometimes," said Tyler, "but everyone can help someone too. You just forgot that." Jessica watched the scene with a mix of irritation and curiosity. There was something about the way her mother looked at that boy that she couldn't understand. "Tyler, you said you come here to visit other people. Why? Asked Jessica. Because being sick is really boring when you're alone, he answered. Out on the streets, we always take care of each other. It should be the same here in the hospital. On the streets? Patricia sat up in bed. Tyler, do you live on the streets? Sometimes, he said with a shrug. When Mrs. Gloria doesn't have money for rent, we stay at friends' places. When there aren't any friends around, we stay on the streets, but we always stick together. Kevin, who was leaning against the wall, cleared his throat. Ms. Jessica, time's up. The boy needs to leave. Just 5 more minutes, pleaded Patricia. Mum, please, Jessica. I feel better when he's here. Jessica sighed again, but agreed. She had to admit her mother seemed more cheerful than she had been in weeks. Tyler, how did you know I was here? Asked Patricia. I always pass by this floor when I visit Mr. Charles in room 504. Yesterday I saw you crying alone and felt like I needed to come back today. You know Mr. Charles? Yeah, I do. He's really sick too, but he doesn't have family. I tell him stories. He really likes the ones about the animals I see in the park. Jessica was typing furiously on her phone, annoyed by the whole conversation, when the doctor walked into the room. Good afternoon, Miss Patricia. How are you feeling? Asked Dr. Matthews, a 60-year-old man with graying hair. Better, doctor. Much better, she replied, and everyone in the room could tell it was true. The doctor looked at Tyler, then at Kevin. And this young man is... A visitor, said Kevin quickly. He was just leaving. Actually, doctor, Patricia interrupted, I was wondering if Tyler could come back tomorrow. I really do feel better when he's here. Dr. Matthews checked Patricia quickly, taking her blood pressure and listening to her breathing. Interesting, he murmured. Your vitals are better than yesterday's. So he can come back? Patricia asked hopefully. Well, it's not exactly protocol, but if it's helping your recovery. Thank you, doctor, said Tyler. I promise I'll always wash my hands before coming in. The doctor smiled at the boy's seriousness. Very well, but always supervised, okay? After the doctor left, Jessica approached her mother's bed. Mom, I need to go handle some things at the company. Are you sure you're okay? I am, sweetheart. Go to work without worrying. Jessica hesitated for a moment, looking at Tyler. You'll stay here with her? Only until Mrs. Gloria comes to get me, Tyler replied. And when will that be? She cleans houses until 6, then she comes to pick me up. Jessica checked her watch. It was 3 in the afternoon. 3 hours? She said, alarmed. He can't stay here for 3 hours. I can stay and supervise, Kevin offered again. Kevin, you have other responsibilities. Mrs. Jessica, today is a quiet day, and the boy doesn't cause any trouble. Patricia looked at her daughter with a pleading expression. Please, Jessica. I promise I'll take all my medicine and do all the tests if you let him stay. Jessica sighed for the 3rd time that afternoon. Fine, but Kevin, if there's any problem, you call me. Don't worry, Mrs. Jessica. After Jessica left, the room grew quieter. Tyler remained seated beside Patricia, still holding her hand. Tyler, tell me more about Mrs. Gloria, Patricia asked. She's really good to me. She works a lot, but she always finds time to talk. She's the one who taught me how to pray. And do you pray often? Every day for my mom, for Mrs. Gloria, for the people in the hospital? And for yourself? Tyler thought for a moment. Sometimes I ask God to help me be braver, or to not feel so hungry when there's no food. Patricia's heart tightened. She spent more in a week on beauty treatments than this boy probably saw in months. Tyler, do you often go hungry? Everyone gets hungry, he said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. What matters is sharing when there's food. And when there isn't, then we wait. Something always turns up. Kevin, who had been listening from his spot by the wall, stepped closer. Tyler, did you eat lunch today? No, Mr. Kevin, but it's okay. Mrs. Gloria will bring something when she comes to get me. Kevin glanced at Patricia, whose eyes were filled with tears. Tyler, how about I get you something from the cafeteria? Patricia offered. You're sick. You shouldn't spend money on me. Tyler, I can buy you food. It's no trouble. Really? He asked, eyes bright. Because I am a little hungry. Kevin smiled and left to get food. Meanwhile, Tyler told Patricia about his life. He had lived with Gloria for 5 years, ever since his mother passed away. Gloria worked as a house cleaner in several homes, and Tyler went with her when the ladies allowed it. Mrs. Gloria always says God takes care of everyone, but sometimes he needs our help to look after others, Tyler said. And you believe that? I do, that's why I come to the hospital. Maybe God needs my help to take care of the sick people. Patricia fell silent, reflecting on the boy's words. She had built a business empire, but when was the last time she had truly helped someone? Kevin returned with a full meal, a sandwich, juice, fruit, and cookies. Tyler thanked them repeatedly before eating, always offering a bite to Patricia and Kevin. Tyler, you don't have to share with me, Patricia said. It's all for you. Mrs. Gloria taught me that shared food tastes better, he replied, handing her half the sandwich. Patricia accepted and realized Tyler was right. She couldn't remember the last time she had taken such joy in eating something so simple. As Tyler ate, he told stories about the people he knew on the streets, about Mrs. Gloria, about the other patients he visited. Each story was told with such warmth and detail that Patricia found herself completely drawn in. Tyler, you mentioned you visit Mr. Charles. How is he? Really sad. He says he has no one in the world. His kids live far away and never visit. How awful, Patricia murmured. That's why I talk to him, so he doesn't feel so alone. The hours passed quickly. Patricia felt no pain, no weakness. For the first time in weeks, she was genuinely interested in something beyond her own illness. At 6 o'clock sharp, a woman around 60 years old appeared at the door of the room. It was Gloria, a petite and thin lady dressed in simple but clean clothes with a warm smile on her face. Tyler, my boy, how did you manage to get here? She asked, but without irritation in her voice. Ms. Gloria. Tyler ran to hug her. This is Miss Patricia. She's really nice. Gloria approached the bed and greeted Patricia politely. Good evening, ma'am. I hope Tyler hasn't been bothering you. On the contrary, Patricia replied. He's been very good for me. Gloria looked at Tyler with affection. This boy has a huge heart, always wanting to help everyone. Gloria, please sit for a while, Patricia asked. I'd like to talk with you. Gloria hesitated, but eventually sat in the chair Tyler had been using. You work as a housekeeper, don't you? Yes, ma'am. I have 3 regular houses and a few others I work at some days a week. And does Tyler always stay alone? No, ma'am. At the houses where the employers allow it, he comes with me. When they don't, he stays with other friends from the neighborhood. And when there's no one available, Gloria sighed, then I have to leave him at the park near home. But he's a responsible boy, never given me any trouble. Patricia watched Tyler as he played with the buttons on the TV remote. Gloria, may I ask you a personal question? Of course, ma'am. Are you related to Tyler? Gloria smiled sadly. No, ma'am. His mother, Amy, was my neighbor. When she got very sick, she asked me to take care of him. I couldn't say no. And Amy's relatives? There was no one, ma'am. She was very young when she got pregnant and her family rejected her. Tyler's father never took responsibility for the child. Patricia felt a tightness in her chest. Amy's story felt all too familiar. Does Tyler know this? He knows his mother had no family, but he prefers not to dwell on the past. He's a very positive child. At that moment, Jessica walked into the room carrying more papers. Mom, how are you? She asked, greeting Gloria politely. Very well, dear, this is Gloria, who takes care of Tyler. Nice to meet you, Jessica said. Tyler, are you going home now? Yes, but can I come back tomorrow? Jessica looked at her mother, who gave a pleading expression. You can, but only if Gloria allows it. I allow it, Gloria said. If it's helping you, Mom, I allow it. After Tyler and Gloria left, Jessica sat beside her mother. Mom, you really do seem better. What's the secret? I don't know how to explain it, dear. It's like that boy reminded me of what's important in life. And what's important? Patricia thought for a moment. Connection, Jessica. Real conversation, genuine care. I'd forgotten those things existed. But Mom, you have all that. You have me. You have the doctors. Jessica, when was the last time we talked about something other than work or money? Jessica fell silent. She couldn't remember. You come here every day, but you're on your phone handling company problems. The doctors come, but they only talk about tests and medication. Tyler is the first person in weeks who looks me in the eyes and asks how I'm really feeling. Mom, I'm not criticizing you, dear. I know you're doing your best. But Tyler showed me that maybe I'm sick not just in body but in soul too. Jessica didn't know how to respond. She had been raised to be strong, independent, focused on success. Conversations about feelings always seemed like a waste of time. What do you want me to do, Mom? Nothing, dear. Just maybe you could talk to me too, like Tyler does. I don't know how to talk like a 10-year-old, Mom. You don't have to. You should be more like my daughter. Jessica felt her eyes well up. It had been so long since she'd grown used to seeing her mother only as a business partner that she'd forgotten to see her as a person. Okay, Mum, I'll try. That night, Patricia slept better than she had in weeks. She dreamed of Tyler, of the stories he'd told, of his genuine smile. The next day, she woke up eager to see the boy again. Jessica arrived early, and for the first time in a long while, she put away her phone and really talked to her mother. Mum, tell me about when I was little. What do you want to know? Anything. Stories you remember. Patricia smiled and began reminiscing about Jessica's childhood. Simple moments, like when she'd learned to ride a bike or when she'd made a drawing for Mother's Day at school. You were a very determined child, Patricia said. When you wanted something, you never gave up. That hasn't changed much, Jessica laughed. No, it hasn't. But sometimes I wonder if you only inherited the determination and forgot the joy you used to have. What do you mean? Jessica, when was the last time you laughed for real? Not out of politeness, not for social convenience. Really laughed. Jessica thought but couldn't remember. I don't know, Mom. Tyler laughs all the time. Even living on the streets, even going hungry. He laughs. Maybe we could learn something from him. Tyler arrived in the afternoon, accompanied by Kevin, who had offered to pick him up from school. Mrs. Wilson, he exclaimed, running to hug her. How are you today? Much better, Tyler. And you? Great. Today at school, the teacher talked about you. About me? Patricia was surprised. Yeah. I told her I had a friend in the hospital who was getting better because she was believing in God. And she said that's called faith. And what else did she say about faith? That faith is when we believe in good things, even when everything seems bad. And that people with faith can help others have faith too. Jessica, who had been watching the conversation, stepped closer. Tyler, can I ask you something? Of course, Mrs. Jessica. How do you stay so positive? I mean, your life isn't easy, but you're always smiling. Tyler thought for a moment. Mrs. Gloria always says that sadness and happiness are like rain and sunshine. Rain is important for plants to grow, but so is sunshine. If we only focus on the rain, we forget the sun will come back. And you always remember the sun. I try. Sometimes it's hard, but then I think about the good things that have happened, or the people I care about, and it gets easier. Jessica was struck by the boy's wisdom. Tyler, would you like to not have to live on the street someday? Of course, everyone would love to have their own home, but until then, I make the most of the good things I have now. Like what? Like Mrs. Gloria, who's the best person in the world, like my friends on the street who always share everything with me, like you guys, my hospital friends. Patricia smiled. Tyler was calling her a friend, and it warmed her heart in a way she hadn't felt in years. Tyler, do you want to be my real friend? I already am, Mrs. Wilson. Friends take care of each other, and that's what we do. That afternoon, Tyler told more stories, drew with Jessica, and even taught them some songs he'd learned at school. Patricia joined in everything, feeling more alive than she had in a long time. When Gloria arrived to pick up Tyler, Patricia called her aside for a private talk. Gloria, is there any way I can help you? What do you mean, ma'am? Well, you work so much, Tyler is sometimes alone. Maybe I could pay for a private school for him or help with expenses. Gloria smiled but shook her head. Ma'am, I really appreciate it, but I can't accept. Why not? Because it wouldn't be fair. Tyler already gives me so much more than I could ever repay. He makes me happy every day. Taking money from you would be like selling that happiness. Patricia was taken aback by the answer. But Gloria, I just want to help. And you already are, Ma'am. Tyler comes home every day talking about you, saying how happy he is to have a new friend. To him, that's worth more than any money. But what if I wanted to do something for the community where you live? Not just for you, but to help others too. Gloria thought for a moment. That would be different, ma'am. If it's to help everyone, it would be a blessing. Patricia smiled. She had found a way to repay the joy Tyler had given her. That night, she talked to Jessica about the possibility of starting a social project in the community where Tyler lived. Mom, it's a good idea, but you need to heal first. Jessica, I think it's the opposite. I think I'll heal by helping others. How so? Tyler showed me that I was sick because I'd forgotten life's purpose. For years, I only thought about making money, growing the company, accumulating things. But for what? For whom? For me, Mom. To leave a legacy. What kind of legacy, Jessica? Money, buildings, or an example of how to live a life that makes a difference in others' lives? Jessica had no answer. She'd never thought about it. Mom, do you want to turn our company into a charity? No, dear. I want to turn it into a tool for doing good. Keep making a profit, but use part of it to help people like Tyler and Gloria. What if it hurts our bottom line? Jessica, what's the point of having all the success in the world if I leave this life without making a difference in anyone's life? Jessica fell silent. The conversation with Tyler had planted a seed in her mind too, and she was starting to question her own priorities. The next day, Tyler arrived with Gloria and another child. Mrs. Wilson, this is Amy, my friend from school. Her mum's in the hospital too, but she can't afford a room like yours. Amy was a shy girl of about 9, dressed even more simply than Tyler. Hi, Amy, Patricia said warmly. Tyler told me your mom is sick. She is, Amy replied softly. She has diabetes, but she can't afford medicine every day. Patricia looked at Gloria, who nodded in confirmation. It's a tough situation, Mom. Amy's mom sells candy on the street, but she doesn't make enough for full treatment. And where is she staying? At the public hospital, Mom. She's been waiting a week for tests. Patricia's heart ached. While she was in a private room with the best doctors, a mother waited in line at the public system. Gloria, can you give me Amy's mom's full name? Of course, Mom. Sarah Johnson White. Jessica, Patricia called, can you call Dr. Matthews and ask if he'd see a private patient as a personal favor to me? Mom, please, dear, it's important. Jessica hesitated but made the call. Dr. Matthews agreed to evaluate the case. Amy, your mom will be able to come here for a consultation with the best diabetes doctor in the city, Patricia said. Really? Amy asked, eyes shining. Really? And if she needs medicine, we'll help. Tyler hugged Patricia. I knew you were an angel. I knew it. Tyler, I'm no angel. I'm just doing what you taught me. What I taught you, that we need to take care of each other. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. That afternoon, Amy's mother, Sarah, was brought to the hospital. She was a 35-year-old woman, thin and tired, but with the same sweet eyes as her daughter. Dr. Matthews examined her and confirmed she needed continuous medication and some dietary changes. Mrs. Sarah, he said, you'll need to take insulin twice a day and follow a specific diet. I'll give you a full prescription. Doctor, I can't afford to buy insulin every month, Sarah said, tears in her eyes. Don't worry about that right now, Patricia interrupted. We'll talk about a solution. After the doctor left, Patricia spoke with Sarah. Sarah, I'd like to help you with the treatment. Mom, I can't accept charity. It's not charity. It's an exchange. How so? You have 2 wonderful children, Tyler and Amy. They've taught me important things about life. Now I want to give back. But Tyler isn't my son, ma'am. To you he is, and that's what matters. Sarah began to cry. Ma'am, I don't know how to thank you. No need to thank me. Just get better so you can keep taking care of those children. Jessica watched the whole scene from a corner of the room. Her mother was transformed, not just physically but emotionally. It was as if she'd found a purpose she'd lost long ago. Later, when they were alone, Jessica talked to her mother. Mom, I don't understand what's happening to you. What do you mean? You're spending money on strangers, talking about changing our company. It's like you're a different person. Maybe I'm becoming the person I was always meant to be. And who is that? Someone who cares more about the good she can do than the money she can make. But Mom, without money we can't help anyone. Jessica, we have plenty of money, far more than we need. What I'm proposing won't leave us poor. It'll make us richer in ways money can't buy. I don't understand. You will one day, dear. When you feel the joy of making someone smile, of solving someone's problem, of giving hope to those who had none, you'll understand. The next morning, Patricia woke up feeling completely healed. All the tests Dr. Matthews ran confirmed it. She was well. Mrs. Patricia, it's remarkable, the doctor said. All your indicators are normal. It's as if the illness simply vanished. Doctor, do you believe in miracles? Dr. Matthews smiled. Mrs. Patricia, I believe the human body is capable of extraordinary things when the mind and heart are at peace. Then yes, doctor, I believe I've had a miracle. Tyler arrived that afternoon to find Patricia getting ready to leave the hospital. Mrs. Patricia, you're healed? I am, Tyler. Thanks to you. I didn't do anything. You did everything. You reminded me what's truly important in life. Tyler hugged Patricia tightly. Now, can we be friends outside the hospital too? Of course, Tyler, always. Patricia was discharged that same day, but before heading home, she had one last conversation with Kevin. Kevin, do you have children? Yes, Mrs. Patricia, a girl about Tyler's age. Do you think she'd like a friend like him? Absolutely, Mum. Then how about we arrange a meeting? Tyler, Gloria, your daughter. We could have a picnic in the park. Kevin smiled. It'd be an honor, Mrs. Patricia. A week later, Patricia was at home but couldn't stop thinking about Tyler and all the people she'd met through him. She called Jessica. Daughter, how about we visit the community where Tyler lives? Mum, are you sure? I am. I want to better understand the reality of these people before deciding how we can help. The following Saturday, Patricia and Jessica went to the community where Tyler lived with Gloria. It was a modest neighborhood on the outskirts of New York City, with dirt roads and small houses. But there was something special in the air. People greeted each other, children played together, and there was a sense of community Patricia hadn't seen in years. Tyler welcomed them warmly, introducing them to all the neighbors. Gloria prepared a simple lunch, but made with so much love that it felt like a feast. Mrs. Wilson, what did you think of our community? Tyler asked. I thought it was beautiful, Tyler. People here truly look out for each other. That's what Mrs. Gloria always says, that when everyone cares for everyone, no one is left alone. During lunch, Patricia spoke with several residents. She met Mrs. Barbara, who was raising 5 grandchildren on her own. She met Mr. Robert, an unemployed construction worker who was doing small repairs on neighbors' houses for free. She met Margie, who gave tutoring lessons to the community's children in her own living room. They were all simple people, but with incredible stories of solidarity and generosity. Jessica, do you see this? Patricia whispered to her daughter. What, Mom? These people have almost nothing in material terms, but they have something we've lost. They genuinely care for one another. Jessica watched the children playing together, the adults talking and laughing, the way everyone naturally included her and her mother in the community. It's true, Mom. It's different from our world. It doesn't have to be different, dear. We can learn from them. When it was time to leave, Tyler walked Patricia and Jessica to their car. Mrs. Wilson, will you come back? I will, Tyler. And not just to visit. I'll be part of this community. What do you mean? You'll see, my dear. You'll see. On Monday, Patricia called a meeting with all the directors of her company. Everyone, I'd like to propose a change in our business philosophy. What kind of change, Mrs. Wilson? Asked the financial director. From now on, besides profit, we'll measure our success by the difference we make in people's lives. And how will we do that? Asked the marketing director. We'll allocate 15% of our net profit to social projects. And we won't just give money, we'll get directly involved. There were murmurs in the room. Some directors looked concerned. Mrs. Wilson, said the financial director, 15% is a significant amount. This could affect our dividends, and it could affect our lives in a much more positive way. Patricia interrupted. How many of you truly feel fulfilled by the work we do? Silence in the room. How many of you wake up excited to come to work every day? More silence. And how many of you wonder what the point is of everything we've built? Jessica stood up. Mom is right, she said, surprising everyone. I've spent years focused only on numbers, growth, profit. But I never asked myself what it's all for if we're not making a difference in anyone's life. Jessica, whispered the financial director, are you sure about what you're saying? I am, and I'll go further. I propose that, in addition to the 15%, each of us dedicates 4 hours a month to direct volunteer work in the community. The room fell completely silent. Jessica, that's not feasible, began the operations director. Why not? Patricia interrupted. We work 50, 60 hours a week. Can't we spare 4 hours a month to help people who really need it? But what if it affects our productivity? What if it increases our motivation? Jessica countered. What if this makes us a more united team? What if it gives greater meaning to our work? After much discussion, the team agreed to run a trial for 6 months. Patricia left the meeting excited. She called Tyler. Tyler, where are you? At school, Ms. Wilson. Why? Because I have a surprise for you and the whole community. What surprise? You'll find out next Saturday. Can you let Gloria and all the neighbors know? I can, but give me a hint. We're going to build something together. Something that will help all the kids in the community. The following Saturday, Patricia, Jessica, and the entire company team showed up in the community with construction materials, books, computers, and lots of energy to work. What are you building? Asked Tyler, excited. A community center, replied Patricia, with a library, computer room, space for vocational courses, and a community kitchen. Really? Asked Gloria, emotional. Really, and you'll help us build it and then run it. Over the next 3 months, every weekend, the company team worked alongside the community residents. Executives used to air-conditioned meetings learned how to mix cement. Directors who only knew spreadsheets learned to paint walls. And in the process, something magical happened. The company team grew closer. People began to know each other as human beings, not just co-workers, and everyone discovered talents they never knew they had. Jessica, who had never worked with kids, found she loved teaching. She started giving basic business classes to young people in the community. The CFO, a serious and rigid man, discovered he had a knack for storytelling. He became responsible for activities in the children's library. The marketing director found a talent for organizing events. She created a monthly festival in the community with kids' performances and workshops for adults. Tyler was always at the center of it all, helping with construction, introducing the company employees to the residents, bridging the two worlds. Ms. Wilson, he said one day as they painted the library, do you remember when you said you'd be healed if you believed in God? I do, Tyler. I think God wasn't just talking about your body's sickness. What do you mean? I think your soul was sick too, and now you're healed from both. Patricia stopped painting and looked at Tyler. You're right, my dear. My soul was sick, and you healed me. Not me, Ms. Wilson. You healed yourself when you decided to love others. On the day of the community center's opening, there was a celebration like never before. The entire company team was there, along with their families. Kevin brought his daughter, who became Tyler's best friend. Dr. Matthews came to see the community that had transformed his patient. During the ceremony, Tyler asked to speak. I want to thank Ms. Wilson and Ms. Jessica and all our friends from the company, he said into the microphone, for believing in us and building this wonderful place with us. But most of all, he continued, I want to thank you for teaching me that when we believe in God and act with love, miracles really do happen. The audience applauded, moved. "And now I have a special request," said Tyler. "Ms. Wilson, can you come here?" Patricia approached the microphone. "Tyler wants me to tell you about the real lesson I learned," she said. "I spent years thinking success was about making money and growing a company. But Tyler taught me that true success is building bridges between people, making someone smile, giving hope to those who had none. I was sick, and it wasn't just medicine I needed. I needed to remember how to love and how to be loved. Tyler gave that back to me. And now I know the greatest wealth I can leave for my daughter isn't material possessions, but the example of how to live a life that makes a difference." Jessica was moved and stepped onto the stage to hug her mother. "Tyler," she said into the microphone, "you've completely changed our lives, and I want you to know that from today on, you're not just our friend, you're family." Tyler rushed to embrace them both, and the entire community erupted in applause and tears of joy. 6 months later, Patricia's company was more prosperous than ever. The motivated and united team had increased productivity. The social project had gained recognition and attracted new clients who wanted to partner with a socially responsible business. But more important than financial success was human success. Patricia woke up every day with purpose. Jessica had found joy in her work, and the whole team had discovered that work could be about so much more than just making money. Tyler continued dividing his time between school, the community center, and hospital visits. He had inspired other children in the community to visit patients too, creating a network of little angels who brought joy to the sick. Gloria had secured a steady job as the community center coordinator, with a fair salary and benefits. She no longer had to leave Tyler alone or worry about rent. Sarah had fully recovered from diabetes, with guaranteed medication and regular medical checkups. Amy had become one of the top students in school, dreaming of becoming a doctor to help others like her mother. A year after their first meeting at the hospital, Patricia organized a big party to celebrate Tyler's birthday. "Tyler," she said during the celebration, "do you remember the first thing you told me at the hospital?" "I do. That you'd get better if you believed in God. And you were right. But you know what I learned?" "What?" "That believing in God means believing in love. And when we truly love, we're always healed of whatever sickness is inside us." Tyler smiled that smile that had healed Patricia's heart. "Mrs. Wilson, do you want to know a secret?" "I do." "When I walked into your room that first day, I was a little sick too, not in my body, but in my heart, because sometimes I felt so alone. And now I have the biggest family in the world," he said, looking around at everyone at the party. "And I've learned that we're never alone when we have love in our hearts." Patricia hugged him, knowing Tyler was right. They had healed each other, and in the process, they had healed many others too. The story of Tyler and Patricia spread through the city. Other businesses began following their example, creating their own social projects. The hospital where they met established an official volunteer visitation program inspired by Tyler's spontaneous initiative. And in a small community on the outskirts of New York City, a community center remained the heart of a transformation that began with a brave boy who believed love could heal any sickness, and a wealthy woman who discovered that true wealth couldn't be counted in dollars, but in lives touched and hearts healed. The end. Now we'd like to know, what did you think of this story of faith and transformation? Do you believe Tyler did the right thing by helping Patricia? In the comments, share sincerely how this story touched you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other heartwarming stories like this one.